Hey, 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 Facebook. We are in the house. In the house. We are in the house. Are y'all excited about it? If you're not, we are.
We are. Yes, we are. Of course we are.
So listen, I don't get to do the, what do you call? I don't get to do the Takesha and Leo today because as you can see, it's just me. I'm this half of Leo. So it's me and Dr. Ada today. So get excited about me and Dr. Ada, okay? So today, we still are parent empowerment for everyday living, but it's Takesha and Dr. Ada. That does not flow like, there's nothing about that that flows.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, Leo will be back. Don't worry. He'll be back with us. He's somewhere. You might even see him like show up in the comments. Maybe. But we are excited to be here with you today. Today's topic, though, is a little, we're going to get right into it because, golly, it's a lot. We got a lot to unpack today. Yeah. And we're not going to be able to get to all of it, unfortunately. So, did you tag some folks to come in and join us?
I sent them, you should try to figure.
Listen.
Oh, send it via messenger. Is that how it works?
I don't know, but if we could tell my human to stop trying to contact me, join us live now. All right, so, and I'm going to tag some folks because we already we already started. So we want y'all to get some people to come in, and I'm just going to tag all of our normal people. Send it to your friends. We need you to share. We want you to like. We want you to, what else we want them to do? Comment. Yes, because we want to talk to you. We got to set it up so that today we can actually talk to you about, what are we talking about today?
A lot.
Discipline. Discipline at home and discipline at school is what we are talking about today. And
like how it translates, right? The discipline at home and how that translates to a child's presence
at school. Absolutely. Because as you've probably heard me say, children are a manifestation of what is happening at home. And fortunately, that happened. We saw that happen just recently.
A reflection of that, yeah.
Right. In the most recent school shooting. Now, y'all, let me tell you, school shootings have been going on for a long time. I did research, golly, back to 2000, 1967. We just know of the ones that we've heard of or seen.
Personally, I was, so Columbine.
Okay, Columbine, right.
Was 45 minutes from my high school.
What?
So while everything was transpiring, I was in an English class. I can't remember my English teacher's name, and I was actually happy that it got disrupted. That's a whole other story. But talk about the most traumatizing, scary thing as a high school junior. You don't know if it's going to happen to us next or what's happening because it was literally down the road from my high school.
Wow. Yeah. That is, I just remember watching it, but golly. Yeah. That's kind of like we just told the kids about 9/11 yesterday. And they were like, people who are my seniors, people who are a little bit older than I, they talk about where were you when JFK was shot, right? We talk about where were you during 9/11.
Yeah, I remember too.
And right, so I was a classroom teacher during that time, but that's not even our focus today. Our focus today, our focus really is, the title of this episode is Discipline at Home and at School, Parent Empowerment for Everyday Living. Hey, welcome. Thanks for joining us. But listen, what I want y'all to understand, where we want to start is, I'm going to start with this Bible verse. Why not? Train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he shall not depart from it.
Absolutely.
Again, children are a manifestation of what's happening at home, all right? Because parents are doing the training. So I got to start with something. So there was that scripture. Sorry, let me tell you, that's Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. So hold on to that, okay? If you don't do anything else, hold on to that. Another scripture I want you to hold on to is Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. It's our foundation of it's me, and that is think on these things. That's mostly what you're going to get out of that. There's a lot, but think on these things. Hey, is a foundation. So hold on to that. Now here's something funny, but true, but helpful. So I don't know if you all ever heard of Rita Pearson. Rita Pearson was this fantastic educator. She was doing TED Talks and everything. And she was talking about discipline ultimately at home and at school. What my mama said, right? What happens when your mom says it versus when your teacher says it, right? When your mom says it versus when your teacher said it. Now, I'm not going to do Rita any justice. God rest her soul. I'm not going to do her any justice because she did this so fantastically. She tells the story of two kids, young kids, and they're fighting and scrapping at school, and she asks them, what are you fighting about? Why are y'all fighting? And the first answer is, my mama said, and she said she already knew. When somebody said my mama said, that means, hold up, I got to deal with that, right? And she told the boys, that if they want to keep fighting, and I don't even know if y'all, because this good old thing is ringing, and that one right there, tell that thing to stop calling me. But yes, so they're fighting, and she tells them, look, we're going to go to your mama's job, and we're going to fight there. And then we're going to go to your mama's job, and we're going to fight there. And so, of course, they're like, wait a minute, because apparently one rule might be, don't let anybody touch you. Don't let anybody touch so-and-so, right? If somebody mess with my family, then I got to do this. If somebody does this, then I got to do that. Oh, did your mama also tell you that she doesn't do that at her job? And so Rita talks about how she talked to moms and how she needs moms' help at school. Teaching what school rules are versus what home rules are. She said, I respect home rules, but I need you to help me with school rules. But I was having a conversation with Leo, as a matter of fact. And the conversation, and the conversation went a little bit like this. So I've heard this from Rita for years, right? It was a part of our professional development so long ago. But how do you tell a 5-year-old, behave like this in one space, but don't behave like this in another space?
Impossible.
Right? They're still trying to figure out how to write their name. Right? I get it. We want our children to survive in the space that we're in.
Yeah.
But we also want them to be successful.
Yeah.
Somewhere else.
Yeah.
Come on now. What does that look like? People have called code switching. You ever hear of code switching?
We talk about this at great length because some of us have professions where we've got to tighten up in a little bit.
Right.
Some folks have the privilege of being who you are in all spaces, thankfully, and some.
But imagine a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old.
There's no way.
A 12-year-old.
There's no way.
Are you teaching them to be schizophrenic? What are we doing?
That's not healthy.
Not at all, right? And while we do understand that, sometimes different environments require you to survive and to be a certain way.
Yeah.
Man,
it's not healthy.
Imagine how heavy that is.
Yeah.
Imagine how heavy it is on you.
Right.
We talk about the stress, I'll say people of color talk about the stress of having to be or behave in a certain way.
At certain times in front of certain people in
Right.
order to feel safe or feel protected.
Right,
Some
right.
examples of that Sunday for you football watchers, right?
I don't know because I didn't watch it.
Okay, well, for the football watchers, Tyreek Hill, right, got pulled over and handcuffed for speeding, and it was the manner in which it happened.
Oh, shucks.
That's a whole nother story.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Granted, he should have handled it in a certain way, but I feel like he felt he could be who he was and get away with it.
Because of the life that he currently lives, he felt safer being himself. Ooh, but man, y'all, if we don't listen, tell your folks jump on Parent Empowerment for Everyday Living. We talk about the real stuff, right? Because we have to apply the everyday living. Understand that.
Yeah.
we have got to talk about these things so that we understand how we need to share and what we need to share with our children, right? So I'm going to go, let's go back. We talk about preparing children for everyday living, but I'm going to go even before that, before I get into that school to prison pipeline conversation. I'm going to talk about this school shooting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This school shooting, it is, man, the heaviness of this one is because it could have been prevented.
Yes.
This one, that's what makes this one a little
chills
bit.
again.
I see, like she literally just did, and I always wonder, why do people say that? And I happened to look at her arm, and I saw it. It literally could have been prevented.
Yeah, the signs were there.
Not just the signs, they talked to the man, they talked to the daddy.
A year ago.
They had a whole conversation. He said, I'll be mad. That man said, I'll be really mad if he did that. How mad would you be?
A year ago. So for context, if you guys don't know, obviously the school shooting, the body cam footage came out just the other day of officers coming to their home an entire year ago because there was reports that the young man was threatening his middle school last year for this very thing. And if you guys ever get to watch it, I hope you do, because parents, I need you to we'll go into it.
Okay.
But
we will. We're going to get into it.
But the cops are literally, talking to the dad. The dad is acting very nonchalant, like, no, this couldn't be my child. My child is a great kid. Where he just shot his first deer a couple weeks ago.
So killing animals actually is a sign.
A sign, which you will go over that, right? We're practicing gun safety, and then segues into, no, my child would never do this, and if he did, oh my goodness. They proceed to bring the young man out, and the officer asked him very directly, did you do this? And for parents, teachers, when your child is lying.
Oh, but
when your child is... You know. And obviously you're looking at the kid and he's lying and he's fumbling and stumbling. But the police officers were just like, okay, we have to go by your word. Everything's copacetic. We're good. Exit stage left. The father then proceeds to buy the son guns and bought him the gun that he used to commit this horrible crime.
Right. The parents, again, children are a manifestation of what is happening at home.
Yes.
And we watched it unfold right before our eyes. And then we have to grieve the repercussions.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go into, this is something that's just highly stimulated. I'm going to go into guns, this gun law. I'm not going to go deep because it's not my life. But as I was doing research, and I don't want you, you can feel however you want to feel. I'm not going to even attempt to encourage you to feel a certain way. But I'm just going to tell you about the research that I gathered, okay? So as I was looking, I came to know that primarily, and forgive me, I'm going to go white, black, Asian. This is not me trying to, what am I trying to say? Be
biased.
Right, to anybody. This is the research. These were the numbers, right? I'm not going to give you a bunch of statistics, but overall,
we're just reporting the facts.
That's it. That children who are white ultimately commit suicide. I wrote kill themselves. So they commit suicide predominantly, and others close to them. Hence school shootings.
Yeah.
Okay. Children who are black predominantly kill others who look like them, which people often say black on black crime, but they kill others that look like them. And all of this is for each side. Oh, and then I'll just throw in, again, this is not me picking, I don't care like that. I'm just sharing the facts.
Yeah.
And that more folks of Asian descent, I suspect, I'll say it that way, do college shootings on college campuses. Okay, so there's that. You can go look at the ABC report. Yeah. The research will be in the description, right? Yeah. So you can go check that out. But it talks about how the percentages of suicides. And so my question was, and then also in that research, it also shows, it says where Republicans, again, please don't get mixed up in Democrat, Republican. This is just what it said in the research. That Republicans often say that guns are a mental health problem. So my question after reading that was, where did the mental health deficits stem from? Right? Again, if parents are training up their children in the way they should go, who is your foundation?
Where did this mental health stem from? If you guys ever have a chance to watch that video, that answers the question. Yeah, it's a mental health issue, but who is managing, monitoring, recognizing, dealing with the mental health issue before it becomes the actual issue?
Right.
And it's supposed to be who?
Mommies and daddies, grandmas and aunties, whomever the caregiver is. I told you I was going to be heavy today. Yeah. It is heavy. Discipline starts long, and y'all know it. We know it. It's hard. I'm not telling you this stuff is easy. It is hard. And I'm going to tell you this, Miss Johnson, my mother-in-law ever said to me, parents do the best she said to me, I did the best I could with what I knew. Research also says parents do the best they can with what they know how to do.
Yeah.
Again, this is why we're here. Parent empowerment for everyday living. You may not be able to run your household the way I ran my household. I'm just going to give you some tools you can use.
You play around with it. You trial and error, right? Some
Absolutely.
Things work. Combination of things work. My 2.5-year-old going on 13. A combination of a few disciplinary actions work in conjunction. Sometimes they'll work one day, sometimes they won't work. But it's up to you as the parent to find out, what does it take for you to get to your child, to get them to do what is needed for them to do to be successful in life?
Absolutely. You said that so well.
Hanging out with you is helping me. It really is.
I love it.
I got a story for that.
Yeah, story for that. Okay. So let's hold on to that for just a moment. I want y'all to think on that though. Okay? It's you.
Yeah.
It's on you, babe. It's on you. I don't know who sings that song, but I think it's on me, I think. With it. But
it's on me. Okay, it is on me.
It's on you.
Yes.
Right? You are the caregiver. You are the trainer. You are the one preparing them for life. You are the example setter for your children and other people who you're around. I'm not responsible for them, but you are.
And this is not a bashing thing. I
think it's not.
For, as a mother, sometimes it does take situations like this or watching a video for us to feel like, yeah, we do have more ownership in our child's behavior. Because sometimes you're just like, when they do misbehave outside of your arms, you're just like, I don't know what situation they're in, but it's up to you as a parent to make sure that you're communicating with your child in every situation. You talk to them, find out, oh, okay, well, what happened here? And talk them through the better way to manage the situation.
The better way. And I probably have it somewhere. Yes, teach replacement behaviors. I knew I had it. Yes.
You're already rubbing on it subconsciously. Yeah.
I take notes, y'all. I tell you, I do. I don't just jump on here and willy-nilly this. Do I have full out life examples to share with you? Absolutely. However, I'm bringing it to you on all of the sides. We're bringing it to you from the word. We're bringing it to you from research and personal experiences. Yeah. That's what parent empowerment for everyday living is all about. And then we get all of the health and nutrition information from Dr. Ada, because when we start talking about that mental health piece and even behaviors, parents are all, I don't know why he acts like this. I don't know why she does that.
I got something for it.
And I know she does, because she knows how to. I've watched it fixed or enhanced. I've watched it how what she does enhances children's behavior. But let me tell you this. Let me tap on this right quick. Parental support for guns is protection oftentimes, but then you leave your children at home alone to fend for themselves, and they're trying to figure out what do they need to do with their lives. And oftentimes, like I just shared, the research shows that children not of color commit suicide more often. Children of color go out and get wrapped up in mischievous things.
And retaliate that way.
Right, but for them it's self-preservation. Their parental support tells them, to to protect yourself, protect your honor, to don't let somebody disrespect you.
Yeah.
And oftentimes what the research showed is that gun violence among people of color is reported less than school shootings. So if I want attention, because I might not be getting it at home for whatever reason or the kind of attention I want, then I go commit a shooting and my stuff is all over the news. My name, my picture. Hey, I am out there. I got what I wanted. Or in the suicide. Also, I got that attention that I've been longing for.
But you're not even here to.
But I'm not here to expect. My. That's and then the self-preservation. I live here. I can't let my kids be treated that way. We got to figure out how to survive in this space.
Yeah.
What are some other ways that you can survive? What else can you do? I want you to think about that. Think
especially
on
if your
things.
home life situation cannot change, right? Because we are speaking to many folks
That's right.
who, depending on where they live, socioeconomic status is not going to change. But there are tools to help you and your children.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're here for you.
Yeah.
Listen, if you need a parent advocate to help you walk through some things, you don't know my life. This is how you do this, I do that. Listen, you don't even know. You don't know. We've shared with you some of the things, and there are people other than us who work with education inside out who have had some other types of lifestyles, and they have changed. Yes. Oh my goodness, man! If y'all ever get, I'm gonna introduce you to some of them in the near future. But listen, you are not out there alone.
No.
I feel like Harris. We're all in this together. I feel like I said I wasn't going to say I was not going to go to the debate. My bad. Sorry. I'm on guns. I'm on the politics. Forgive me. We're all about you. Yes. Mom, dad, grandma, auntie. But yes, it's all about working together, right? Yes, it's hard. I'm not telling you this stuff is easy. My son was 5, whatever he was, taller than me when he was a teenager. The manner in which I handled that child, bet you he would never step to his mommy again. Not when he was 10. I say he was a 10. He was a 10-year-old, and he felt tall, which he was. And that little thing thought that it was wise of him to exert or share his strength in that space. And that dude had to take a deep breath, real deep breath.
He tried you.
He tried, but guess what? He never did again. Never
tried you.
Right. So, but that's the way I handled it. Other people I was appalled. Oh my, so-and-so, how dare you? Or I'm going to call the police because you did this. There's the different manners in which this is handled. I just gave you one example that is handled a variety of different ways depending upon the household that it happens in.
Yeah.
And guess what? I know because I've been talking to parents of so many different spaces about these very things for many, many years. many years. Yeah. So listen, don't just have rules and policies, but implement them.
Just stick to it.
Right. With consistency, continuity, fidelity. You've got to keep doing it. Yeah. It's got to be done exactly. So listen, I said this. I don't know, it's on this paper somewhere. Did you ever tell your mommy or your daddy or whomever, can we please get french fries? Can we please get french fries or ice, whatever? Can we please have pizza? Can we keep doing it? And you know that if you ask them or they ask you or you, whoever you are listening, 14 times, on the 15th time, you know I'm wearing them down.
Let me tell you, I grew up in a very African household. You asked once, you were told no. You better not ask again. So no, that was not, no.
It happened in my house, and we knew exactly what to do, when to do, and how to do. Because for us, it was just mommy, right? So now my father, when we went to go stay with him, we knew if that dude said no, it was no.
Yeah.
Don't you ask again, because
I would not be here to this day if I tried anything other than no.
No, right?
No,
but there are those parents.
Yeah.
I've had to tell my students in some cases, listen, you want a school supply, you want a poster board for the project, whatever. My mama didn't get it yet. I tell them, ask your mama for a poster board like you ask her for pizza. And they just look, because they know already. let me tell you, their responses crack me up because they look at me like, how you know?
Because
how you know that's what we do?
But we're in the midst of that now. My daughter is very persistent, very strong-willed, and she will wear somebody very weak down. So one of the things I have learned is, okay, she really wants this bad enough, and it's not that bad. I'm just saying no because we're trying to teach boundaries.
Right.
If you do this other good thing, then maybe we can entertain this.
Right. Yes, that's how you do it. If you do this, then this. Rewards. Make it so they know, oh, if I do this, then they know when they get to school and the teacher says the same thing, it's like, oh, that's how it works.
Because you've got to establish control. I am mommy, right? This morning I need you to eat your egg. Well, mommy, I want grapes. Well, guess what? If you eat all of your egg, you get grapes. Really?
Right.
And then here's 2 grapes. Oh.
That's all I had to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Just listen to mommy.
And y'all get to, and as the adult, those with authority, we talked about authority last time, you get to set all of those things up. You get to make those parameters. And children love them.
But you know what? It also, I was thinking about this. It builds trust. Because now she knows, okay, mommy stood by her word. I did my part and mommy followed through.
That's right.
And it may seem, I was like, it may seem minor, but I can see how that can translate differently as the years go on. And I was like, okay, that worked. Okay, we're gonna keep going. And I can see how establishing that in a little kiddo, but hey, maybe you didn't. And now your child is 9, 10.
13, 14.
14. Try it.
Guess what? It still works. It's all about
That's good to know that it still works.
It still works. It's never too late. And that's what I always want parents to know. Yeah. It's never too late. It feels like it because is it harder? Absolutely. It is harder to do it when they're older. Just like you, it's harder to learn something the older you get because our brains are more malleable when we're younger.
Yeah.
You can learn a language. Kids can learn a multitude of languages, all these things when they're younger. But when they get older, it's a little bit more challenging. Same way with those of you who've ever gone back to school. Yep, there it is. Rewards. Yep, I love it. I don't see who said it. It's somewhere on here. But we know it even as adults. It is a bit challenging. There you go. Yes. I can't read it. You can read it out there. I don't have good old glasses on today.
Rewards are great, but we have to watch out for manipulation.
Yep.
Sometimes they could take advantage of that and become manipulation.
Yes. You become manipulators. That's right. And that is exactly correct.
That is actually really nice. Yeah.
Yes. So we have, but we're in charge.
Yeah.
So I ask a question oftentimes, who's really in control? Because if you're in control at home, guess who has a better opportunity of being in control at school? Classroom teachers. And if you're doing your part, like Leo says it's like a pie. That's how he envisions this. It's a pie with 3 parts. The child's part, the parent's part, and the teacher's part.
Yeah.
Y'all, let's work it together.
Yeah.
If we do it together, we will be just like you if you have a 2-parent household. You know, mommy has what she does, daddy has what he does. I said, that's not totally true because there are some 2-parent households where they're doing their thing and that third part, that child, which is what oftentimes, that's why the kids wind up doing or not doing the things that they do or don't do. And I don't know how to do anything else but tell y'all the whole truth, right? And when I say the whole truth, I don't sugarcoat. I can't sugarcoat it because then you'll be left trying to figure out, what was it that you were trying to say? I don't want you to have questions.
Right.
Parent empowerment for everyday living. I want you to apply this to the situations that come up in your household.
Yeah.
Okay. And as I was saying a little bit, it's harder when they get older. So why not start now? Start now.
I like to, the manipulation portion, just thinking about that, I can see how that can come about because I think it has to be situational and then what the intention is. I don't even know how to expand on that, but I'm just sitting there thinking, did I just manipulate my child? I don't think so. I think I taught a power dynamic.
Yes, you taught a lesson.
Yeah, but hey, in order for you to get what you need, you gotta this is.
But that's what we
teamwork.
do. We teach.
Yeah.
It's not a manipulation. So what people oftentimes, they have a problem, and that's where some of these different parenting strategies have come in, because people think of a thing as negative.
Yeah.
It's not negative. You're training. We've been instructed, even in the Word, in the Bible, to train our children.
Yeah.
Right? We get training when we go to work.
Oh, yeah.
They don't just throw you in and be like, all right, go. Yeah. What you want to do? Yeah. Oh, you don't want to be here on Thursdays? Don't be here on Thursdays. You want to show up when you want to? That's fine. It's going to be great for productivity for your business. You think?
Yeah, you're fired.
Yes, you're fired, by the way. What about your child?
Yeah.
They don't get fired, but they fail.
Yeah.
And guess who? And we talked about the behaviors and how they behave. And not my child, because we become instantly embarrassed. I'm not gonna whoop my child at school. I mean, not at school. I'm not gonna whoop my child at the store. But they clowning you. They are screaming and jumping and running, and you're trying to figure out
how do I handle this situation?
What? Sit down, John. Sit down, John. And everybody's like, John, sit down.
Right?
Everybody else in the store.
I've been in the store like, man, if you don't do something to this child, I think the whole store is going to do something to this child.
Exactly. And people who normally don't, and they're like, I really wish Sean would sit down. Depending upon what your personality is, everybody wants you. And we are so embarrassed in that moment that we freeze.
Man, you know your child's not going to sit down, so handle your business.
Right. And we get it. Now, there are some, I'm not going to say that. I was about to call that name that they call with a K, but I'm not going to do that. There are some other people who think things in a different way, and they may have something to say, but that's your child.
Yeah.
You're raising your child.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It is on you to ensure their success. And right now in colleges, and I got to touch this, and I'm not even done. I haven't done school to prison pipeline. But in colleges now, y'all remember everybody get a trophy?
Oh, jeez.
Everybody gets a trophy.
They still do that?
I don't know anybody who does, but I don't think it's far gone. But it's definitely not as it was once. But y'all, they can't survive.
No.
The colleges, and I was working on a college ministry, and what we discussed was that a lot of those children in that age bracket, from everybody gets a trophy, their ability to cope was limited. Their resilience was low. Why? Because I have never failed. But now I'm in college.
And I'm failing left and right.
Right. And I don't know how to address it.
Wow. Where did that even come from?
I can't even tell. I didn't do the research. I'll look that up the next time.
Okay, please do. Because right. The human in me was like, no, not everyone gets a reward. It's not even about being fair. It's not a healthy way of processing life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm going to touch this, and I'm going to let Dr. Ada, and I actually had a transition for you today.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry, I've lost it because we've kind of been everywhere. But we talked about the school to prison pipeline. Let me jump back into that for just a moment as it relates to the school portion of this. There are so many issues with children that are happening at school, and for a long time it was all they want to do is send the kids to jail. All they want to do is put kids out of school, and they're not learning. So a lot of that's been rectified, right? Yeah. There was a time, not fully. Okay, I'm not trying to say, but it's so many people jumped on that. And they were like, no, because a disproportionate amount of children of color were the ones being disciplined, just way too much. And so those numbers have decreased based off the research that I did. The years were kind of all over the place. I didn't knock it down, get the solid numbers, but it has gone down substantially. Good. But with that, again, did you tell the little girl I'm coming? But with that, we still have some issues at school. So where we were having the SROs having to deal with the discipline, why do we have to have the SROs deal with discipline? Where were you? Why was it that we needed to have somebody else come. Now, were they doing it a little bit too much in some situations? Probably. But what was it? And I'm not saying it was okay. Don't go and tell somebody that Takesha Michelle said it was okay. I'm not saying it was okay. What I am saying is, what were the behaviors that showed up from your child, from your house? And I want you to attempt to strip away the embarrassment and think, what was I doing, or what was I not doing?
What is this?
Where did this come from? Because what do is we become instantly angered.
Yeah.
And we set out for the person or the people who did the thing.
What do they call that? Disassociating or
okay, disassociation? But why not? Why? Or when did you? Maybe they did. I don't know. Maybe you ever finally sat down and had a conversation and or got some help.
That's what I would like to segue into.
Go for it.
As a parent, right? You're probably sitting here and you've got a child that may have some disciplinary issues. The question is, what do I do about it? Yes, I've seen it, right? My child, she's got behavioral issues, or he's got behavioral issues. What do I do? I've lost my power. I didn't establish my presence, my power. What are some steps that I can do to gain that back? I'll have her answer that from her clinical standpoint. As a healthcare provider, whenever I've had to speak up and say, hey, Mom and Dad, I've noticed some behavioral issues. And from the clinical health aspect, there's a multitude of things. We know that adverse behavior, because I never like to say poor behavior because you don't understand, some people you don't know what that means, but adverse behavior, 9 times out of 10, a child cannot help it. There's a disconnect somewhere. In our world, we call that a subluxation, interference with the way the brain and body are communicating. Well, what caused that interference? Is it lack of nutritious food? Right? So your child doesn't even have the nutrients to, process life, right? So of course they're not going to pay attention to you because their brain is so foggy. Is it exposure to chemicals or things that are altering their brain, i.e. the home that you live in, medication, cleaning supplies? Those chemicals have the ability to break down brain tissue.
Drawing on yourself with ink and markers and things, too.
Thinking that they're tattoos. By the way, tattoos are very, very dangerous, but that's a whole other thing, right? So your child being exposed to toxic chemicals, trauma, right? Did you have a kiddo that rolled off the bed at 1 year old and they suffered brain trauma? Guess what? We can see the manifestation of that later on in life. I actually have that in our intake form, and we do have mothers. I ask, hey, yeah, they did, and it's embarrassing, right? It is. My baby girl has had a very traumatic fall. Can those things affect the way your child is living life? Yes. Now, one of the main things that we have noticed are bacteria, parasites, things like that. We're actually going to be doing a workshop here in a few weeks about that very thing. Because as parents, I want to give parents guidelines and tools. Hey, my child's behaving this way. What can I do? There's therapy, and we can talk about those things. But clinically, in our world, you got to get some of those things out of their system.
Goodness.
It is very hard to discipline a child who has mental health issues due to bacteria, parasites in the body and the brain.
Something can be done about it.
Yes.
It's not over. It's not over.
I see kids all the time in my everyday walk of life, and I'm like, if that parent only knew that child has parasites that are in his belly that send neurotoxic signals to the brain and causing that poor behavior, or it affects their ability to receive the love and information that you're trying to deliver.
Right.
And I had a parent that was like, is that why she's like that? I said, those dark circles under your child's eyes, right? For kiddos of color, you can still see the dark circles. Parents look into your child's eyes. Are the whites of their eyes tinted, right? Does your child have eczema, right? In the creases of their elbows. That's a sign of bacteria, right? Does your child not sleep well at night? Does your child crave lots of carbohydrates and sugar? right? Does your child, I know this is going to sound kind of crazy, but do they scratch their behind a lot? Right? There are signs that your child may not be able to communicate with you or receive, right, you because of interference with the way their brain and body are perceiving life.
My.
So in our world, we recognize that, and it's my job to say, hey, mom and dad, I'm seeing this. Things are not clearing out. I think we need to take it a step further. So as parents sitting there, I see it all the time. They're just like bewildered. They're just like, I don't know where to start. And I urge you parents, reach out to us or do your research. TikTok seems to be the new doctor. Nobody Googles anymore. And
TikTok?
They
really?
TikTok, yeah.
Oh,
I know.
I still Google.
I still Google, right? Or Instagram. But there are a ton of resources out there that prove to that thing. There are things that are blocking your child's ability to receive the information they need, and it's time to look at that on the clinical health side. And sometimes it's just not a disciplinary thing. Parents, you've got to look outside of those parameters and figure out, okay, is it something my child's been exposed to, something I'm feeding my child, something they're eating at school? What can I do to detoxify my child so that I can reach them again? Dang,
y'all just got some of the best information. I urge you to reach out to Dr. Ada at Innate Health. Finish the rest of it.
IHFC. I'm like, what are you talking about?
She's going to type it in. And you can reach her. And
yes.
It'll also be in the description when we put this on YouTube next week.
Yes.
Listen, y'all, we're going to wrap down. But that was a wonderful way to close because of all the things that we've shared, some of it could have been addressed by health and nutrition or structures and strategies or a combination of the two.
And that video, I urge you guys, find that video of them confronting this young man a year ago, and I'm watching, I'm seeing his mannerisms, I'm looking at his face, you can see on, clinically, oh my God, this kiddo, heavy
so
metals.
It's obvious.
It's in my world, it's very obvious that he definitely has some chemical toxicity. Definitely he's subluxated, right, in our world.
And we also say that he or she, when we look at our kids, we don't know why he or she is so sad. I don't know why we try so hard and we buy them, him, her, every single thing that they need, just to make them, we let them go and do whatever. We just want to see them be happy. See Dr. Ada if you want to see them be happy. Or see your own
self.
What is it called? Your nutritionist. See a human like that.
Yes.
All right. We're going to wrap down again. I want to ask you, what does conflict resolution look like in your home?
Yes.
Hold on to that. Are you celebrating negativity?
Can you give a quick example of what that looks like? Because I think that'll draw people in.
So are you celebrating behaviors in order to make everything all right for you? All I did was knock him upside the head one time. Don't do it again. You want to go get a cookie? If you don't do it again, I'm going to give you a cookie. But wait, what? Again? So it was okay. You just celebrated that behavior. But in your thoughts, you may have said, I celebrated him saying he's not going to do it again. Think about that. Think about that. Additionally, do your kids know your trauma triggers and use them to dismantle your disciplinary efforts? Oh, those are the things I want to leave you with. Because they see you mad or they see you cry when they do or don't do a thing.
And they're using it against you.
And they use it against you.
I will definitely be tuning in next time.
She'll be here next time. I don't know what she's talking about. But you will tune in next time, hopefully. Yeah. Thank you all for joining us. I am Takesha Michelle of Education Inside Out. This is Dr. Ada of Innate Health. We'll see you next time. We'll have Leo. And then if you all check us out on Takesha Michelle, EDU Inside Out.
We miss you, Leo.
And thank you all so much for joining us. And we will see you again next week on YouTube and the week after right back here live on Facebook. Y'all have a good evening.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.